Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled to have you here today. Listen, in this one, we're diving into something that is absolutely fundamental, yet honestly, it's so easy to take for granted. We're going to treat the human heart like exactly what it is, a high-performance engine. I mean, just think about it for a second. Your heart beats over 100,000 times a day. It's pumping around 2,000 gallons of blood through this massive, incredibly complex network inside you. And because it's working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we really need to treat it like a premium machine. So today, we're breaking down the essential daily habits from our source material that will make sure this amazing engine keeps running smoothly for the long haul. Let's just dive right in. I want to start with this quote because it really hits the nail on the head. Your heart never takes a day off, so give it the care it deserves. Literally from the moment you're born, this engine is just constantly pumping, constantly supplying your body with exactly what it needs to survive and to thrive. And because it never ever clocks out, we have a massive responsibility to protect it. Our everyday choices, those are basically the maintenance plan for that engine. All right, let's look at Section 1, the 24/7 engine, focusing on fuel and movement. So that brings us to a magic number, 30. Our source strongly urges us to walk for at least 30 minutes on most days of the week. And I love this because it's just such a simple, accessible metric, right? Just 30 minutes of vital movement to keep the engine primed and the blood flowing. Out of all the minutes you have in your day, dedicating just 30 of them to a brisk walk is honestly one of the absolute best physical inputs you can give your body. Now, when you sit down for a meal, try to visualize a dividing line right down the middle of your plate. Our source gives us this highly specific but super easy tip. Fill exactly half of that plate with fruits and vegetables. Yep, 50%. It completely takes the guesswork out of eating right. By dedicating half of your intake to these nutrient-dense foods, you're automatically prioritizing the premium fuel that your heart needs to function at its best. But you might be wondering, what about the other half? Well, there's a clear line in the sand here. You want to focus on heart-healthy building blocks, like lean proteins. Think fish, chicken, beans, and nuts. On the flip side, we really need to actively cut back on the harmful stuff: salt, added sugar, and processed foods. Those are essentially the low-grade fuels that literally gunk up the engine over time. They stiffen your blood vessels and just force your heart to work so much harder than it needs to. The contrast here gives us a really clear, uncompromising roadmap for our next grocery run. To round out this first pillar, we have to talk about hydration. The final essential physical input is simply staying properly hydrated by drinking plenty of water. Just like a car engine needs oil and coolant to prevent overheating, your cardiovascular system relies on water to maintain blood volume. And that actually makes it way easier for your heart to pump. It's such a simple step, but it is absolutely non-negotiable for true heart longevity. Moving right along to Section 2, Rest and Reset. This is all about protecting the engine. 7 to 9, that is our primary recovery window. The recommendation from the source here is super specific. We really need to aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every single night. And guys, this isn't just about feeling awake in the morning. This is a strict biological imperative. Sleep is basically the main time your cardiovascular system gets to drop its output, lower your blood pressure, and undergo deep physical recovery. If you're cutting this short, you're actively denying your engine its crucial daily reset. We also have to manage the daily stress that forces the heart to run at a high RPM. Instead of letting all that tension compound, the source gives us some really actionable ways to bring it back down. Things like deep breathing, which kind of recenters your nervous system almost instantly. Stretching is great too because it physically releases that built-up tension in your body. And definitely don't underestimate the power of connection. Simply spending time with loved ones triggers a profound physiological calming effect. These aren't just nice little self-care bonuses, they're highly practical stress management techniques to keep your heart from burning out. Now, when it comes to toxins, the directive is uncompromising. Avoid smoking completely and limit your alcohol intake. If we go back to treating the heart like a high-performance engine, smoking is the exact equivalent of pouring sand directly into the gas tank. No joke. It actively inflames and destroys the internal lining of your cardiovascular system. And limiting alcohol sits right next to it as a fundamental requirement to just eliminate unnecessary toxic strain on your body. Okay, Section 3, the maintenance check, looking at medical oversight. So even if you have the best fuel and you're getting optimal rest, our source insists that 3 exact internal metrics have to be checked regularly by a medical professional. We're talking about your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and your blood sugar. You generally can't feel if these numbers are off. They're the silent indicators of how your engine is actually performing under the hood. Regular doctor visits to monitor these 3 specific metrics serve as your routine maintenance checks. They empower you to catch microscopic issues long before they turn into catastrophic engine failures. And that brings us to Section 4, your longevity lesson, focusing on the long-term impact. This right here is the core lesson of the entire explainer. Small, healthy habits today can help protect your heart for years to come. Listen, it's not about making one massive, completely unsustainable overnight change. It is entirely about the daily micro-habits, that 30-minute walk, that glass of water, that intentional choice to fill half your plate with veggies. When you compound those small, manageable habits day after day, they work together incredibly powerfully to ensure your heart's long-term longevity. So I want to leave you with a somewhat provocative question to chew on. What small habit will you start today to protect your heart for years to come? Seriously, don't try to boil the ocean here. Just pick one single thing we looked at in this explainer. Maybe it's drinking a bit more water or committing to getting those 7 hours of sleep. And start today. Your heart works 24/7 for you. It's time to work for it. Finally, please note this important disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your diet, exercise, or treatment plan. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and here's to your health.